Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host, Felty Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we are covering Married to Medicine, Season 12, Episode 5. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also leave your comments, share it, and you can subscribe. Let's get into this episode. All right, y'all. So, I forgot the first scene. So we're going to go on to the second scene right now. We can start with Toya and Eugene. I have some comments about their scene. It almost seemed like they were trying to figure out how that they were going to converse with each other. It looks like, or how they were going to apologize to each other, if they were going to apologize. Eugene calls Toya down to their basement area. She, I guess, doesn't know what's going to happen. So she's kind of like, okay, so are you going to play spades with me? Or, no, we can play pool. He already said that when he messaged her to come downstairs. So Eugene is the first one, which I don't understand, to apologize. He was able to take accountability that sometimes he plays too much. I mean, that's how he feels. I'm conflicted on that. It feels like these two embarrassed each other and now trying to apologize to each other, but then later on they're going to be blaming other people still for how they acted in their own house. It was weird to me, y'all. I'm like, huh? So I don't think that Eugene owed her an apology, but he had to start off with it. I guess he was being the leader of the home, right, Toya? He apologized because he thought he was playing too much or whatever. He listed out, I guess they used the balls to say what he did and what he could do differently and all that stuff. We get to her, Toya, and then she's talking about really not wanting to take accountability because she didn't want to act like what she said, as far as you being a leader, wasn't rude or disrespectful in front of these men. And then she tried to say, I think I could say, I don't know what was wrong with me saying, you being a leader, honey. You didn't say honey. You didn't have any sweetness to it, no softness to it. In that moment, you know that you wanted to cut into Eugene because Eugene wasn't doing what you wanted him to do. To me, I mean, look, they know their marriage or whatever, but I even for Toya being the realest one on the show, I think that was somewhat fake. I think they had to film a scene of them apologizing, but Toya really wasn't apologizing. That's the best way I can put it. That's the best way I can put it. I'm sorry. And of course, you Toya stands are probably gonna be like, no, no. It just was an awkward scene. And maybe they weren't done being mad with each other, and that's cool. But it looks like the producers told them, okay, well, y'all need to come together, have this scene, and apologize. Still, don't understand why Eugene had to apologize. That's my personal opinion. Angel, Mimi, Dr. Mimi, and Brandy, they meet up. First and foremost, I'm glad that those three are meeting up because I think that they got to do something with the newbies. Because what y'all usually do is stick them at the end to finally have some type of story, and then nobody's really interested in them. At least that they can come together. Everyone brings their children. Stevie is not coming. Dr. Mimi just explained, look, I know my child and I know what could happen. And it's been to a point where he's got play dates that he's thrown stuff and wrecked TVs and stuff like that. And he's got to go and purchase a new TV. And that's just that on that. So she decided, no, not in this crowd. I think that it would have to be something more a one-on-one type of play date with another individual, but to be amongst a crowd like that, it's just not going to work. So most of the conversation, well, some of the conversation was about Angel and dating and all that. We're finding out that Angel takes care of both of her children. You know what? I know it's a tale as old as time. I really know that. But it's just like, you ninjas will get up here and procreate and you just leave the woman because you really didn't want to be with the woman. With that woman. I'm not saying a woman. But it's just like, you're done with the woman and you're done with, I'm not going to say the mess you made, but what you made. Your children. You got engaged to someone that you got pregnant, and now you're done with them. That is so crazy. That is someone that could be emasculated. Ugh. But Angel said that she's kind of looking to date. At least at this point, she wasn't really saying what she wanted in the man, but she wanted someone to come in and ignite her soft era, something, take some of the load off of her. So I did enjoy at the beginning of the episode. We didn't get all those interludes, but it was interlude-ish, where we saw the nurses and the doctors having a rough time. You see them somewhat in the thick of battle. We're not seeing the surgery, we're seeing them outside, and they are documenting as to what's happening at that point. So now I'm remembering stuff, y'all. Sorry. Then they get on what's going on in this text thread, because they got this group chat amongst the Married to Medicine cast, and they're seeing the shade and all that good stuff. It's not good, at least as far as what they were calling shade. Did they talk about the Father's Day stuff there? I don't know, but they may have. But there was a Father's Day text sent out. Toya had this thing of saying what she was grateful for her family, her husband, her children, and all that. Hopefully you spread it amongst your family. And Dr. Heavenly ended up saying, make sure you tell them that, especially Eugene. and tell it on camera, I think it is. Later on, we'll get into it, but Dr. Heavenly talked to Dr. Mimi. And first, Dr. Mimi wasn't seeing anything wrong until she was hearing a little bit more. Well, I don't think you should have done that. Now, Dr. Mimi did say at the get-together with Brandy and Angel, is Angel from like New Orleans? Because I'm hearing that accent. So I'm just wondering. I don't know where she's originated from, but oh, okay. But anyways, yeah, Dr. Mimi's kind of good on on Toya because of how Toya presents herself amongst the group. And look, she just doesn't understand how she got caught in the stockpile because you're just deflecting on your own behavior and now blaming me for whatever, blah, 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 blah. So they kind of talk about that. Next on the list is the Whitmores. Dr. Simone meets up with her sister Carmen, and Cecil meets up with his brother David, and they just discuss the biggest blow up. When it all is said and done with, everyone is encouraging Cecil to, you got to be a united front with your wife. We get that you have other visions and goals that you want to see for your legacy. Cecil is at the place where he just does not want his children to struggle. Simone feels like, okay, I know the upbringing that Cecil had. He had a good father. He had that one that was really on his children to make sure they stayed out of the streets and all that good stuff. But it's like, he's the nurturer of the boys, and I gotta be Papa Whitmore in the home. The roles have been switched or reversed. I don't know if you want to call it that. I just don't want to down Cecil for that. Okay, cool. The roles have been switched. Perfect. The only part I think that you need to be, Cecil, is more on your wife's side, or at least a united front. Your children should not be disrespecting Simone. Period. I know that there's some loose talk in y'all's home, so I just can't blame them for how they actually speak because, look, again, remember when Simone was about to bring her laptop a couple weeks ago, and she had some things that she wanted to discuss. He said, well, make sure what you bring to me, I'm not going to have to just flip over this table and feed this food to the dog. There is some playful type of exchange that y'all do have that possibly you guys have got to take accountability for as to how you raise your children to talk. And y'all might have some good adult talking, but Michael and Miles may not really know their place. I don't think Miles is that outspoken, you know what I mean? But that Michael, he got a mouth on him, you know? So maybe y'all need to take that into account. However, it's not too late to change that as far as that disrespect. I'll say that much. I see Cecil in all of this. And I see Simone in all of this, too. Simone is just like, for the last 3 years, I've been carrying this weight. It's one thing for me to be carrying it on my own, but I need us both to do that. I'm gonna say this much, and I might get shot. When the roles are the man being the household, that's the weight that's usually on that man. And maybe this is a way for us to see how, even though the man may not be as vocal as a woman would with all of this type of weight on them, maybe you can also see how a male can deal with this on a day-to-day basis. You see it in Eugene. Eugene is trying to make a better life for his children and for his family, that he's working like a dog and making sure that he can please his wife, who doesn't seem like she is pleased a lot as far as how she displays herself on camera. But anyways, I'm just like, that's the weight that a man can carry if he's carrying that whole load, you know? Not at all. I am not devaluing a woman and a woman's role or place within the marriage and within the home and within the family. I will never do that. But you can just see it, if you will, just the weight, if he had to carry all that. So I do believe that there needs to be a dual type of carrying, or at least take some of it off of her, that she doesn't have to feel a certain way. David told Cecil, if you see your wife upset, crying, or whatever, you need to switch up and you need to be there for her. So, hey, yeah, I think that those were good conversations, even when she was talking with Carmen and all that good stuff. I'm glad for this. I'm glad that Carmen nor David badmouthed the spouses, the in-laws. I mean, David said, hey, you know, that's like my sister. That's just not like an in-law to me. So, yeah. So I'm glad that they did not do that. I appreciate that out of the Whitmores. Now, of course, it looks like next episode they're going to actually talk. I hope I've been playing to you. I was just trying to make sure I say what I say, but not disrespect anyone or disregard anyone as to what they got going on. So hopefully I was heard. The next scene, the women are going to be doing their thing, and the men are going to be doing their thing. Dr. Simone has set up for, oh, no, I got to talk about Quad. Quad is getting ready to go to Ghana. She's packing and all that. And King is like, is this your attire as far as getting yourself prepared for whatever needs to be done? He's like, this is Gucci. She's like, oh, this is just little relaxed wear. You know, Quad is not gonna go nowhere without looking her best. I'll just say that much. So King kind of let out some of his frustration, not to be rude or whatever, but Quad had to check in like, what's up? Because I thought that we were in this together as far as all this IVF treatment. He said, you know, I am. However, I thought this would be more of a one and done situation. And she was like, well, wait a minute. Well, you knew that this was going to kind of be something. He just didn't know the extent of it. He didn't understand the stress of it all. And I think that that still should be put into, you know, on the table like, hey, you know, King made his child probably more naturally, you know. So it's like, this is a whole new experience. And it's a whole new experience on Quad. She's never gone through that. And I think that he's just like, this is a lot. Not so much as like he don't want to do it. It's just like, can we get on with the pregnancy? Because this is a lot. We flying overseas just to try to make sure you have a baby. And they did this type of send-off party for Quad and did this type of, I won't say dramatized, but it looks dramatized, a way of kind of just sending their blessings that she is fruitful and able to multiply and all that good stuff. I thought that that was cute. And all that good stuff. So, what we did learn is that the Quad has retrieved 3 viable eggs, and I think they're trying to fertilize those eggs and just to see what's going to happen and all that good stuff. So, hopefully she is. Even though I thought fucking Dineva let it be known by the slip of the tongue. I think he was drunk or something on his channel that Quad was pregnant. Hopefully she didn't lose it. I don't know what's up with that. But anyways, later on in the scene, he got up and he held her hand. And I know what the narrative is, and I know what people think. For now, I gotta take it episode by episode, I think. But I'm team Quad and King, because you don't do all that. He's a different type of person. I think he knows what Quad needs. Quad even apologized for her moods and all that stuff, and a lot of that is the hormonal stuff. I think it's when you got Quad's mood on top of these extra hormones, it's a lot. So it's a lot more than what he is able to handle, you know, or at least deal with. It's a lot more than what he's used to. Let's just put it like that. So no. So y'all can feel how you feel about King and thinking that he's does not like her and all that good stuff. No. After letting out your frustrations like that and still able to go over to her, hold her hand, comfort her, and y'all come together and able to resolve whatever y'all feeling at the moment, y'all can't tell me nothing right now. For now. And I can eat my crow later, but for now, I'm good. So we move on with the women doing their thing and the men going over to Scott's and Contessa's home. We'll start with the purse thing. So Simone has this activity. She's with a woman named Jackie M, and they are going to make authentic purses, real purses, with real leather and all that good stuff. Simone said, you know, this could be shady or whatever, but we need a good laugh. Just get some humor out of this pettiness that we got going on. All the ladies are showing up, and then you got Contessa. Contessa can't dress for nothing, and she's always doing the opposite of whatever is going on for the day. I don't know what she's trying to do. I don't know if she's just trying to be seen or what. You come up in here with what you think is designer or whatever. It looks like the dress. Were you in season 8? The first? No, you weren't. Or were you? I don't know. Whatever season that they started wearing the blue when they had their group photo. Were you in that one? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. But anyways, Dr. Heavenly again did forget her purse at Toya's home. So she brought it. And of course she was being shady. I want everyone to guess which one is real and which one is fake. And if you really don't got it like that, yeah. Toya, you're so materialistic. And living in the land of materialism, Atlanta, it just helps support it. So yeah, we get into making the purses and all that. They talk about the text that Dr. Heavenly had. I don't know if it was shady of what Dr. Heavenly said. I just think it was the wrong messenger. As far as, you know, you need to tell Eugene. Because I think she did say when they were apologizing to each other, Toya and Eugene, hey, I can say things a little bit nicer to you. And I can give you more affirmations, and I can say more affirmations to you in front of the people. But yeah, but we don't think that that's going to last. Then they're in the confessional defending one another. You know, we just have an unconventional relationship, and we like it. In a way, I'm okay with that, but in a way, y'all not really okay with it. I'm like, okay, cool. But I know y'all not really okay with it. It's kind of like, oops, we really messed up in front of the folk, but hey, we still rock with each other. And pay no attention to what you actually seen. It's a little bit, to me, a little bit of gaslighting to try to make it seem like it's not what we thought. That's my opinion. But yeah, Angel, she has stuff to say like, well, you know, you started talking about her marriage and her husband and stuff like that. Cool. Dr. Heavenly thought that she had the best intentions about it. I don't think you did. I don't think it was meant to be shady. It's just like there's no reason for you to say it right now because she's not really checking for you. And for whatever reason, Toya's got this strength against Dr. Heavenly this season, and it's weird because they didn't have any problems last year. They didn't even have problems the year before that, as far as I can remember. So it's odd as to how Toya's acting. You're saying, oh, Heavenly's just so sensitive about a fake bag. She's not. She was jonesing with you. And it got to a point where it went too far. But you should know that because you're from Detroit. Or at least Michigan. She's from Florida. They Jones. Now, down there, they're cutthroat. A lot of stuff, at least on the surface, does not bother Heavenly like that, you know? So it's like, ugh. But I guess you didn't take it as jonesing, and you also think that Dr. Heavenly is that upset about you calling her bag fake. No, she was just giving you back what you gave to her. That's all it really was, Toya. I know some of y'all may think differently, but it really didn't bother her. I think that if Dr. Heavenly wanted to buy it, she would buy it. but that's not something that she values. Anyways, Dr. Jackie is the voice of reason, and she's like, which I think that she was just trying to fake cry or whatever, but she's like, I'm tired of us. We've come to this place where we're very kind of rude and getting mean to one another, and we got to like really fix this and just vow to not be this way to one another. Toya's at this place of, look, I'm ready to forgive, but I don't believe that Dr. Heavenly means it, and I'll just be waiting for the next time that she acts up, basically is what Toya was on, whatever. But yeah, I guess another pettiness. Oh, while they were making those bags, I had to bring this up. Dr. Contessa talked about Scott. When he was in medical school, in order to pay for it, he was selling fake bags to a lot of women customers. While they were in med school together, Contessa had a problem. She didn't know why all these women were coming around, but then he later told her about that, and then she ended up telling him, like, you need to stop that. Like, you're even doing this to your patients at the moment as far as selling these fake bags and all that. So I guess he knocked that out. Now, people online were saying that's not all that Scott was doing, but we'll leave that alone because we know how sensitive them, is it Metcalfs are about their marriage. But anyways, yeah, so I just brought that out. Yeah, so it was a light episode. I appreciate Simone and Cecil and Carmen and David coming in, and I think that was such a great moment. I appreciated Quad and King. I know a lot of y'all don't, and that's fine. I'm not here to twist anyone's arms. And I think that those scenes, and then also the Brandy and the newbies, them coming together, I appreciate those scenes the most. Toya and Eugene just seem very fake. I appreciate Curtis standing up and saying, like, you trying to paint Toya to be some type of victim in all this. No, this is when the men meet. No, Toya gives as much as she gets. Like, let's stop acting like Toya is the only one that gets talked about. But then again, y'all leave yourselves open to be open targets. I don't understand why I need to respect your husband if you don't respect your husband in front of me. And that's a given anywhere. Now, I'm just not somebody that's going to be outright disrespectful, but you open the gate. You're not good gatekeepers. And then y'all just trying to act like you got the best marriage. I don't think you do. And then y'all saying, well, we're just not fake. And we're just raw and real. But y'all don't like how y'all speak to one another. If they are fake, the other people in other situations, okay, that's fine. But at least that they are protective of their marriage and their union, that they're not going to do too much to allow someone to seep in to be able to pick at it and destroy it and tear it down. They'll tear their own marriage down in the privacy of their own home, if that's the case. That's all I got, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all thought. I was kind of all over the place because I was trying to remember everything. I just watched it, and I apologize, but this is just the way I got to do it sometimes. And hopefully next time I have a great memory, but I thought that this episode was good. And bravo, y'all got to do better about Married to Medicine. It is the better show than The Housewives. The Housewives, I think, are more prepared or are more prioritizing fame over creating a show. And they really got social media fame. Atlanta gets fame just for anything. So, and I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about Atlanta as a region. Like, if you're doing something that seems important, you get fame and people recognize you and treat you as celebrities out on the street. So, hey. But yeah, I just think that they're lazy, in my opinion. But anyways, that's all I got. Yeah, The Housewives Caught a Stray. Thank you for stopping by. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until the next one, peace.